Hey guys, I'm back with more PTS of the new club update, also known as Adventures, the new expansion coming out on November 14th for Trove. As a disclaimer, this is PTS, so everything is subject to change, but today we'll be going over club fixtures and everything about these new cool buildings that offer your clubs a lot of benefits. So fixtures are buildings that can be placed in club worlds that unlock mechanics, buffs, and even loot chance increases, so quite good buffs. Benefits from fixtures only apply in PvE, so there's no PvP bonuses. At level 1, clubs can only place base fixtures, which you guys saw in the previous video, which I'll have linked in the top right when I place down these fixtures. So as a level 1 club, you only get the 2 base ones. You have to unlock these as you level up your club by doing adventures, which again was the last video if you guys want to check that out in the top right card. So additional fixture slots will unlock as the club levels up. Fixtures can be placed from merchants located on the Trove IGN fixture, which is this fixture. We went over this yesterday, but I'll show you once again. Or not yesterday, but the last video. I don't know when this video is going to come out. So it's like 10,000 to, but this is like the max tier. These are the ultimate effigies or ultimate fixtures. So it's you can come over here and you can buy all the fixtures from these dudes. This is where you get them from. So they're purchased from these dudes. They can be upgraded, placed, or removed by a club member with the necessary permissions on the Fixtures tab of the club window. So you guys saw me yesterday, or again last video, you saw when I placed down these fixtures, and that's basically what it's saying. You go to the Fixtures tab, and then you place them down by dragging them in, and then it brings up the building. You guys can just check it out from yesterday, or do it on your own. So moving on, the active benefits granted by each fixture can be viewed from the club list, only for the primary club, and also from the fixtures tab. So if you go to the fixtures tab, it's supposed to be right here. For some reason, my primary club bugged. It's the only club I'm in. I can't click it again. But usually, it's like your primary club is like a big tab up here. You can see from yesterday's video once again. I know I keep telling you guys to go to the last video, but it bugged for this one, so I can't show you in this one. But yeah, so it's like a big thing, and you see the benefits in where my mouse is like moving around. Since it's bugged, I can show you this one, which is basically the same exact thing. It's the same exact thing as the main page. So if you want to see the benefits, you hover over this eye icon. You can see them down there if you know the thumbnail of them, and you can just know based off of looking at that what it is. But if you don't, you hover over the eye, and it tells you exactly what it does. So Rally of Heroes. It spawns tier 1 to 3 heroes at the rally points that are available. Probably in Club Union. It allows for a maximum of 3,000 Clubits to be contributed to the club. Stuff like that. So moving on, the fixtures cost Clubits up front when placed. So you guys saw it's 10,000 to buy the 10,000 to buy like this guy, the effigy of Echoing Strikes. So that's that. And then each fixture can be upgraded twice for additional Clubits. So if it's 10k for the first tier, tier 2 is probably like 15k, and then tier 3 is probably 20k. Those I just made those up, but that's probably how it is. Just giving you an example. And then so that's that. And then also that increases the weekly cost of that fixture. So say it's 10k to place this down, and the rent is, again, we went over rent yesterday if you want to check out yesterday's video. Rent is the weekly cost of having fixtures. Right now I have the base fixtures have no cost. They cost 0 to put down, and they cost 0 for rent. But if you place down that 10k one, you place down the 10k one, it costs 10k Clubits, and it's going to have a rent of, say, like 250 Clubits per week. This is a weekly rent. At tier 1, if you upgrade to tier 2, it'll probably be like 350 Clubits per week for this one building. And then at tier 3, it's probably like 500 Clubits per week for this one building. Again, that's something to keep in mind, because you can have up to, let's see, 3, 5 plus 9. You can have up to 9 fixtures up at once, and they all have rent, right? So you want to be careful jumping the gun and upgrading things that you can't afford. It's like real life, right? You don't want to upgrade to a 3-story, or not a 3-story, a 3-bedroom apartment if you can't afford the rent. Sure, you can do it for a while, but then once you run out of money, what are you going to do then? You're going to lose everything, right? So it's basically the same thing. It's like some dark stuff, I guess, we went into with the example, but it's the same thing. You want to make sure you're thinking about, like, sure, I can afford this upgrade, but can I afford it long term? Am I getting enough donations from the entire club to where I can do this long term every single week? So that's something you got to keep in mind. Because the higher the tier, the higher the rent. So let's keep going. Where was I? So fixtures require rent paid weekly to keep their buffs activated. So if you can't pay rent, your fixture will still be down. It's not going to take your fixture away from you. You'll still have these nice buildings in your club, but if you didn't pay rent this week, they do nothing until you pay rent. So all these guys probably disappear. You probably can't use this anymore. Well, this doesn't cost anything, so I don't think these guys will ever disappear. But say the benefit of let's say the effigy of echoing strikes. Let's say this gives you an extra chance to do a critical hit. Say it's like 10% critical hit. That's what it gives. I don't know what it gives, but I'm just giving an example. Say it gives 10% critical hit. If you can't pay rent, you lose that 10% critical hit. That's basically it. And until you pay rent. So the building will still be there, so it'll look like it's working, but it won't. I just want to give that disclaimer so you guys know ahead of time, like, hey, the building's still there. Maybe it still works. Nope, it does not. The building's there, but not the abilities. So let's see. So there are 4 types of fixtures: base, combat, utility, and ultimate. So base fixtures is the Rally of Heroes and the Trove Union. Now the reason why I separated this video from last video is because I want to go over all the fixtures and what they do. So the Rally of Heroes allows spawning of adventure heroes at hero rally points, which you guys see here. These heroes can be managed by a club member with the necessary permissions at the Adventure Club tab window. So if you go to your Adventures Club tab, you can see, you can remove them, you can wake them up. So moving on, the Rally of Heroes fixture cannot be upgraded or removed while Adventure Heroes are present. This fixture has no rent cost. So that's probably why I couldn't upgrade these. See, it's a gray upgrade tab. If I can't upgrade these, that's probably why. So at level 1, you get it for free, and there you get the 3 hero rally points. If I were to upgrade this to level 2, it would cost 2.5k cubits to upgrade it to level 2, and it has 4 hero rally points. So you get an additional, I was going to say extra and additional at the same exact time, so I said an additional. So an additional rally point, probably in the middle here, I guess, maybe. But it still has no rent. This building will never have rent, it says. It just has no rent. But it does cost clubits to upgrade. So at level 3 is 5,000 clubits, and you get 5 points. So maybe it puts another one somewhere random. I don't know, right here. So that's this building, the Rally of Heroes. So Trove Union. Any member of the club can donate clubits at the club vault. Showed that off last time. I don't have any to donate, so I can't show you guys. Club members with the necessary permissions can purchase new fixtures from these dudes. If a fixture is unavailable for purchase, it means the club either doesn't have enough clubits or isn't high enough level to purchase it. So I can't purchase anything because we're level 1. That's basically what it means. If it's grayed out, but you have the clubits and you're wondering why it's grayed out even though you can afford it, it's probably because the club isn't high enough level for it. And that is why. So the Clubit minting machine allows any player to convert Adventurine to cubits. This fixture cost has no rent. Once again, this will never cost anything because it's a base fixture. And I believe I went over this yesterday, right? The whole Clubit stuff. Yes, I did. Okay. You guys can check that out from last time's video. So that's that. If we were to upgrade this, so it's the free, this is free, has no rent for base level 1. If I were to upgrade this to tier 2, it costs 1,000 clubits to upgrade, and it increases the donation cap of 3,000 to 9,000. So if we're getting 3,000 per week and I upgrade this to tier 2, all of a sudden we can start getting 9,000 in donations per week, I believe. And then at level 3, so max tier, it costs 5,000 clubits to upgrade, and it has no cap. The cap is unlimited for donation. So if someone has 100,000 clubits and they want to give me 100,000 clubits, they can. In terms of upgrading the club. So that's that. So we'll move on to combat fixtures. Again, I don't have the club to show you guys, but I'll just be sitting here talking about it. Again, you can find the patch notes in the description below if you want to go over them with me. Let's go up here where it's nice and shiny. We'll sit on this thing right here. So the next one is the combat fixture. Shrine of Skill requires a level 4 club and increases both critical hit and critical damage. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go over the max tier. I'm not going to go over every tier. I'm just going to go over the max tier and give my opinion on it. So the max tier, level 3 of the Shrine of Skill, gives 10% critical hit and 100% critical damage. This is insane and obviously necessary for a combat shrine. 10% critical hit and 100% critical damage. That is a lot of stats. A lot of stats. That's basically an extra gem. It is, actually. It is an extra gem. So, obviously, you guys know the impact of gems. They are insane. Every single gem is insane on its own. So, this being another gem is obviously very, very good. So, Shrine of Ferocity requires level 6 and increases both physical and magic damage. So, at tier 3, it gives 15% physical and 15% magic damage. Again, that is necessary. You want this in every club that you have as your primary club. This is 100% necessary. The Shrine of Ferocity gives 15% damage. Just straight damage. So Shrine of Vitality requires level 2 and increases maximum health. At tier 3, it grants 100% maximum health. This one is terrible. So we can only cross one off the list. You know how you can only use 4 out of the 6 and you had to figure out which 2 to knock off? We went over that last time. I guess I could just show you really quick. So if we go over here and we go to the fixtures, you can see there's 4 combat slots that you have, but there's 6 of these guys, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, so you have to figure out which 2 to knock off, because you can only use 4 out of 6. There you go. Shrine of Vitality, out of here. I'm already going to figure this out for you. So Shrine of Rejuvenation requires a level 4 club and increases both health and energy regeneration. So at tier 3, it gives 200% health regen and 3 energy regen. So this one is actually decent. This is like, in my opinion, this is going to be one that's going to fight for its spot here, all right? We've already got 2 out of the 4. We have to figure out which 2 we want to put into our fixture slots. And again, this is only my opinion, how I'm going to do the club. If you want Shrine of Vitality, go right ahead. That's the point of this system. You get to pick and choose what your club wants. But I'm going to go over what I want. So this one's going to fight for its spot right now, because there's only 2 spots left. So let's go over the next. So Shrine of Resilience requires level 2 club and reduces incoming damage by 10% at max tier. That is decent as well. So that one might be good. And then Shrine of Efficiency is the last one. Requires a level 8 club and reduces the rent for all combat fixtures. This fixture has no rent cost. So at max tier, it reduces the rent for all combat fixtures by 25%. Okay, so at the start, because this is obviously, things like that go out of necessity, there you go. So at first, I'm going to be using that one. Shrine of Efficiency. Reduce the cost of your rent by 25% for all combat fixtures, and it has no rent on its own. So it takes up 1 slot that has 0 rent, and it reduces the rent of these 3 slots by 25%. That is going to be probably amazing at the start. Once we're like a year into the expansion, it's probably going to have no use at all. It's like Radiant items, right? Radiant gems are useless now, right? Radiant items are useless because you upgrade from then on. So it's probably going to be the same thing. I'm going to use it the second the patch goes live, or whenever we hit level 8, and then whenever it's not needed, I'll replace it. So there you go. There's one that's kind of up in the air. So for me, what I would start with is Shrine of Skill, Shrine of Ferocity. Those I would always keep 100%, no matter when the expansion is, no matter how long I've been playing. Shrine of Skill, Shrine of Ferocity, those are necessities. And then I would put Shrine of Rejuvenation. That is also, in my opinion, probably the 3rd most necessary. So Shrine of Rejuvenation. So Skill, Ferocity, Rejuvenation. This slot would then be Efficiency until it is so, like, until it doesn't matter anymore. Until we have so many clue bits that we don't know what to do with them. That's what that would be for. And then once that becomes, like, you know, you don't need it anymore, the Efficiency Shrine, then I'll probably do the Shrine of Resilience. Because I think 10% reduced incoming damage is much better than 100% maximum health, in my opinion. There is a EHP calculator that you can make up on your own. I have a EHP calculator that I just don't want to bring up right now because I'm making a video. But yeah, so you can figure out which one is actually better, 100% maximum health or 10% reduced damage. You can figure that out easily on your own. I'll just do whichever one's better. So utility fixtures. So we're going to the purple ones right now. So utility fixtures. Traveling Club Merchant. Requires level 5 club and provides a merchant along with a daily qubit grant. So at max tier, you get 300 qubits per day from a stand. So I guess you just get free random 300 qubits per day. This is again max tier. Along with a fully upgraded merchant that sells Blocktron, Dragon Egg fragments, an additional amount, an additional piece of Shadow 1 equipment, and 3 additional allies. So this is another one of those things where you want to have this at the start. You might want to keep it forever for any new members that join the game. But if you're an end game player and you're only caring about yourself, then this is something you definitely want at the start. Once you already have all of the upgrades, and again, once the 300 clue bits is like nothing, once you like start pooping out 300 clue bits like left and right, whatever that saying is, that's when you would want to get rid of it if you would ever. So Mount Menagerie is the next fixture. Requires a level 3 club and contains interactive leash blocks where club members with the fixture permission can place a mount to show it off. The Mount Menagerie also grants additional jump and increased talisman drop rates. So this sounds already really, really good. So you get 5 leash blocks. So if I wanted to place my Gonda on display, I could do that. So if I want to tie Gonda to a leash, you can do that. If you want to tie Endurian, you know, the most badass dragon out there, to a leash, you can do that from what it seems like. To show it off in the fixture. I don't know if it takes it away from you, or if it's just like a block that you place down that it's like, this guy has a Gonda, so he's showing off his Gonda, but he can still use his Gonda. I don't know how that works, if you can still use it or not. I would assume you can still use your mount. It's not going to take your mount away from you, but you just get to show it off, basically. It's like a showboating thing. It's nothing but showing off. That's it. No real benefit. But it does grant 5 additional jump at max tier, which is very good. That's basically the ring, right? So 5 additional jump and a 4 times higher chance a 4 times higher chance than the level 1 Mount Menagerie drop rate. So the level 1 drop rate says it grants a small additional chance to drop Corgi, Meowth, Shmeep, or Centaur Talisman. So you only have a small chance, and it quadruples that chance at max tier to get a Corgi, Meowth, Shmeep, Centaur, Llama, Rat, Panda, or Griffin Talisman. Griffin Talismans will only drop from U5 and above, but drops granted by the Mount Menagerie are not restricted to Cursed Skylands. Oh, so you don't have to be in a specific world. You can have this Mount Menagerie fixture, and you can find any talisman anywhere that's U5 and above, I guess. I could be wrong about that. That's just what it sounds like, and you get a 4 times drop rate from a small chance. Again, they should have probably told us like it's a 10% chance to get an additional talisman, and then it quadruples that, so it's like a 40% chance to find a talisman, but it's still massive. So that's why I would think that they should have told us the additional chance to drop, because it just says 4 times of the level 1 drop chance, and the level 1 just says it has a small chance, a small additional chance. So it's kind of weird that way, but let's move on. That seems really good for people that farm a lot, because you're going to find more talismans, which means more flux per hour, and you get 5 additional jumps, which sometimes help, especially if you're a Neon Ninja. So the Horde of Prosperity is the next building. Requires a level 10 club and grants Magic Find, along with the additional chance to drop Adventure Boxes, Pearls of Wisdom, and Shadow Key Fragments. And at max level, it grants 200 Magic Find, along with a 4 times drop rate of the level 1. It's doing it again. So you have 200 Magic Find, a small chance to get, and a small additional chance to get Adventure Boxes, Pearls of Wisdoms, and Shadow Key Fragments. So, I mean, that's cool for people that are grinding. I would probably still take the Mega Menagerie instead, to be honest, instead of the Horde of Prosperity. 200 Magic Find is nice for like a new player, but for a player like me, we're already finding so many Stellars. Stellars are only like 5k flux. I'd rather find a Corgi Talisman than a Stellar worth 5k flux, you know what I'm saying? So me personally, I don't know if I feel too good about that one, to be honest. Unless it's like a really big drop chance for Pearls of Wisdom. You're finding a Pearl of Wisdom like, I don't know, 10 an hour, I guess. If you're finding 10 Pearls of Wisdom an hour with this building, then yes, definitely this building is awesome. But if not, then I don't know. So moving on, the Font of Knowledge. Requires a level 3 club and grants additional experience along with an increased amount of bonus experience. Bonus experience is a new stat. Anytime a player gains XP, they have a 2.5% chance to gain an extra amount of XP equal to the bonus XP. So this is basically, if you need to level up classes, this is the building. So what that means is this building gives bonus stat. Bonus stat isn't a stat on its own, I guess. This gives the bonus stat, or a bonus experience. So you get your normal experience, you get increased. So you get, let's just read it. I'm just making stuff up. I should just read it. So at tier 3, you get 30% more experience or additional experience. So if you get 10,000 experience, you now get 10,300 experience for a dungeon, along with a 300% increase to bonus experience amount. So it sounds cool. I have all level 30s though, so I don't know. I don't have an opinion. It sounds cool, but I don't have any class to level up to see if it's that big of a difference. So we'll figure that out over time, I guess. So Repose of Heroes requires a level 6 club and increases the rarity and variety of hero NPCs available from the Rally of Heroes fixture. See NP section for full details. So at tier 3, increases the chance of a rare hero spawn and increases the chance that heroes will offer rare missions. So this is 100% needed. Repose of Heroes should be in every single club, along with a traveling club merchant. So those two are needed. And my third, because you only get 3 if we go over to fixtures, you only get 3 to choose from. So far for me, 100% Repose of Heroes, 100% traveling club merchant, and then the last one for now, for me, is Mount Menagerie. But let's read the last one. Scenic Bell Tower. Requires a level 8 club and reduces the rent for all utility fixtures, and this one has no cost. So for me... So this one's a little bit different, because with the combat ones, like, for sure, you don't need health regen, or you don't need damage reduction, and you don't need health. Like, these two are completely useless for the most part. Like, those are 100%, like, I don't want them, so it's easy to do the Shrine of Efficiency, which reduces the rent. This one, I'm liking that Mount Menagerie fixture, so I don't know if I would want to use Scenic Bell Tower. I might at the start, but as I get more Clubits, and Clubits become less of a commodity and something that's easier to get over time, I would probably go with the Mount Menagerie, but maybe I'll use the Scenic Bell Tower at the start. Again, 100% you want the Repose of Heroes, that's a slot. 100% you want the Traveling Merchant, that's another slot. Third slot, again, I've already explained it, don't need to go over it again. So last is the Ultimate Fixtures. Finally, we're down to the Ultimate Fixtures. So these are the effigies. So, and you only get 2 to choose from. Remember that, so we're going to pick 2. So, Effigy of Echoing Strikes requires a level 9 club and grants a chance to land an additional strike. So, at tier 3, so at tier 1, it gives a 0.5% chance to land a double hit, and at tier 3, it gives a 1% chance to land a double hit, and I think this only applies to basic attacks, your left click, right? I don't think anything that's ever gave a bonus hit has ever applied to an ability, so I do not know if this applies to, like, if you press your number 1 as a knight, I don't know if you get 2 number 1s shooting right back to back, you know? I think it's just an extra hit, like, whatever damage it does. Okay, so it doesn't only apply to basic attacks, I would assume. I think it applies to all attacks, just anything that does damage, it would double the damage. You have a 1% chance to double the damage. So if you hit for, like, if you use your shuriken on your Neon Ninja and you hit for 100 million, you would hit for 200 million instead. It would just do 100 million and then 100 million right after. Kind of like a dot, but instantaneous dot for the same exact damage that you've already did. I think that's how it works. And a 1% chance is not a very high chance, so I don't know if I would ever use that. Let's keep reading, though. Maybe the others are really low, too. So Effigy of Potent Opulence. Requires level 5 club and decreases the dust cost to upgrade gems and grants additional gem drops. So at tier 3, it reduces gem upgrade cost by 20% and grants a 4 times higher chance than the level 1 effigy drops in Prime World gem boxes. So let's read the first one. So at tier 1, it grants a 5% gem, or reduces gem upgrade cost by 5% and grants a small additional chance to drop Prime World gem boxes in any world. Oh, yes. Yes. Echoing Strikes, that's poo-poo. It's terrible. Unless you're speedrunning. And then it's just RNG, which, again, I hate. Because you have to do multiple speedruns to try to get a 1% chance to get the best time, right? So, Echoing Strikes, poo-poo. Potent Opulence, 100%. You never want to play this game without the Potent Opulence active. So there you go. And then Effigy of Flowing Elixirs. Requires a level 7 club and grants a small chance to completely refill all flash charges when a flash charge is used. At level 3, it grants a 3% chance to refill all flash charges. So this is completely terrible as well. This is worse than the Echoing Strikes, in my opinion. Because if you're farming, you're using not Bandolier. If you're farming, you're using Conjurer's Vial, right? You're using Conjurer's Vial, which is an 80% chance to grant, I'm trying to find it, it's like an 80% chance to grant an additional charge, right? So you always have infinite charges with Conjurer's Vial, assuming you have like 1,000 plus Magic Find. So already for farming, which is what 99% of players are doing 99% of their time, it's useless, because it's only a 3% chance to refill all your flask, whereas this is an 80% chance to always refill your flask every single time you get a drop, but you get multiple drops per dungeon. You get 2 drops per dungeon. If you have 3k Magic Find, it's proccing like 6 times per dungeon, so you always have infinite charges. Completely useless if you're doing, say, Shadow Towers and you're speed running. You kill the boss before you run out of flash charges in the first place, so already completely useless there, plus it's only a 3% chance. You're not going to get that ever in a speedrunning situation. The only situation I could ever think this would be useful for is what I do, and what nobody else in the game should do, is carries. It doesn't, like, no one should ever do carries. There's no point to do carries. Sure, you might be able to make some flux out of it if you want to do that, but there's never a time where anyone should ever do carries. And even then, I wouldn't even use this for carries. Me personally, I would never use this for carries. So Flowing Elixirs, poo-poo to the max. Like, even worse than Echoing Strikes. So I would not use Flowing Elixirs. So far, Potent Opulence, 100%. And then Effigy of Frugality. Requires a level 10 club and reduces the rent for all fixtures. This does stack with the Scenic Bell Tower and the Shrine of Efficiency. This fixture has no rent cost. And again, reduces all rent for all fixtures by 30%. That's what I'm using. I've already figured out my my ultimate effigies. 100% Potent Opulence. 95% Effigy of Frugality, because it reduces the cost of everything. And it stacks. I'm already using the red one for the combat, remember? So I'm already using the red one, and it stacks with that. So all the combat ones have even less rent. And then this makes it so everything has less rent. Again, I'm not sure if I'd use the purple one. This one, the Scenic Bell Tower. I might not. But if I don't, these still would get 30% off if I had this one, the Frugality one. So 100% for me, I'm using Effigy of Potent Opulence and 100% Frugality at the start. I might go to Echoing Strikes if Frugality serves no purpose anymore, like a year down the line. Like I said, I might go to Echoing Strikes. I would never use Flowing Elixirs unless someone figures out a way to break it and makes it useful. To me, just reading it on paper, it sounds completely useless, in my opinion, unless they nerf Conjurer's Vial. They would have to nerf Conjurer's Vial to make this even a slimmer of appealance to me, in my opinion. So these are the two I would use. So that's my opinion on all of the new towers. There's some very good ones out there. Some of them are going to change the game for a lot of people. Some of them are just additional bonuses, like 10% more critical hit and 100% more critical damage. That's just awesome to have at all times, right? It doesn't really change the game at all. It just makes what you're killing faster or die faster, but it's just something that's always active, right? But then some of them are really, really cool ideas, like the Menagerie place, the Mount Menagerie, where you have additional chances to get talismans, but it also removes the restriction from the talismans in terms of where you can find them. It doesn't remove the restriction of the difficulty, so you still have to be in U5 and above, but you don't have to be in a Cursed Skylands to find griffins anymore, right? So that's kind of a game changer, sort of. It doesn't mean we're not doing dungeons still. We're still doing dungeons. That's all we're ever going to do in this game, because this game has no content, which is just something to criticize Tryon about. But what we are doing is we're changing the way we spend our time, right? So instead of doing something inefficient, like farming a specific prime world, you can just find it in any world, which is awesome, because I've always hated that they're always like, oh, you can find, there's a new talisman, but you can only find it in a prime world. Prime worlds suck. Why would you ever do a prime world? You're just basically making me waste my time to get this new mount, so then I can go back to what I was already doing, which is the same content. It's still doing dungeons, it's just a different scenery. You know? So that's always something that I've always criticized Tryon about, and that's awesome that there's buildings that kind of subside that. It's a unique way to fix a problem, I guess. It's not fixing the problem, it's just like deterring your thought of the problem, I guess. Which is cool. That's actually, again, it doesn't fix the problem, but it's still cool that that's something that can happen, right? Finding unique ways to deter people's complaints, I guess. At least me personally, I don't like the way that Griffin or talismans in general are implemented and stuff like that. And that's also awesome. I like this one, the Potent Opulence. You can find prime gem boxes anywhere. I love that one. That one was an instant yes. You have a 4 times chance to find a prime gem box in any world. So if you get like 3 shadow air boxes, you get 3 shadow air boxes and a shadow gem box on top of that, which is awesome. I like that one a lot. So in the future, they can expand on this too. Like Fixtures offer them a room to grow. They can add more anytime they want. They can add another fixture a week, like 1 fixture a week if they wanted to, right? So that means, that's why I like this system. This is what I was looking forward to the most. It was the adventures and the fixtures and stuff like that, because it leaves room to grow for Tryon. It leaves Tryon basically infinite opportunities to do whatever they want. They can add a building that makes it to where, I don't know, they can make a building, basically make a new class if they wanted to. They can make it to where in the combat ones, right? You know how you, or this one, like, you know how you get an additional hit, a 1% chance to get an additional hit? You can have a 100% chance to always be a dragon or something like that and deal additional fire damage. It's like subclasses 2.0 already, right? It's subclasses 2.0, basically. Which again, subclasses also have basically infinite opportunity to grow because they can add more subclasses per class and stuff like that. So that's why I really like this system. That's going to be it for this video. I know it was very long. This is the longest one yet, but that's because I wanted to go over every single building. So I really hope you guys enjoyed it, and that is going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you give it a like, and if you haven't yet, click that subscribe button plus the bell next to it so you can be notified whenever I upload a video. If you would like to further support the channel, make sure to check out my Humble Bundle affiliate links in the description below. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next time.